Is your lawn as bumpy as a gravel road in the middle of summer when it's 90 degrees out and you have a cutie by your side, a granddad's pickup truck bucket seat, or maybe your lawn is just bumpy in general? Well, stay tuned because we're going to tell you all of the different ways to fix that bumpy lawn of yours once and for all. All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Lawn Feed. I am Ope, your host tonight, and as always, I am joined with the better two-thirds of this group, Andrew, the Dad Bod Lawn. What's up, what's up?
Hey,
and
guys.
Vince at Rooted Lawn Co. I almost called you Vooted Lawn Co. I'm looking at your name. Well, hey, it's good to be with you guys again. We've taken a little bit of a hiatus, but we're back. And today we're going to be talking about a very, very, very popular topic that many people are looking to dive into and fix in their own lawns, and that is how to level their bumpy lawn. And so they can, mow their lawn mow their lawn and not feeling like they're in an earthquake.
Make it a little bit more enjoyable, right?
Right.
Yeah. So just casual conversation, right? So why on earth would someone want to level their lawn? When is it time? Why would someone want to do it? Vince, you just did a huge renovation last year. What do we got?
I did do a big renovation last year, and I ended up leveling my lawn this spring anyway. So I did renovation because I was going to reel mow. And when you reel mow, you want to make sure that it's super smooth. That way you get no big bumps and you can just cut the grass nicely. Because you're using a reel and a bed knife, so you want it to be nice and smooth. Whereas like a rotary mower, you can handle the bumps and stuff because your blade's higher, and then So I leveled it. I used some topsoil, screen topsoils in particular, and then this spring I did a sand level. And that's just basically to any undulations that got messed up through rainstorms and worm castings. You put down a layer of sand, you start sand capping, and it makes it smooth again.
Yeah. Andrew, you've done some lawn leveling stuff this spring, if I'm not mistaken. So why did you decide to do it? When was it time for you? And walk us through that.
So I decided to do it because my front lawn, I think, has really bad issues with freezing and thawing. I get bumpy in my front lawn, and that's where my septic system is. It's a different ecosystem up there. And I think I had some grub issues too, and so I got a lot of animals digging around in there. So I've always had a nice front lawn, but...
What are you eating? The animals digging around your septic system.
It must be the yeast from my brewing. I don't know. They're into it. Must be something fermenting. But we don't play with my kids on the front lawn because it's so bumpy that like I almost turned my ankle. So imagine what my little 4-year-old is trying to do running around there. It's probably like huge hills for them. So I did a bunch of seeding just a few weeks back because of bare spots due to grubs. And so at the same time, I thought I would throw down a bunch of topsoil and try to level it the best that I could before I filled in those bare spots. So I think it's going to make a huge difference. It's not going to be the end of it for sure, but it's a good start. It's a lot of work bringing in a ton, so I was just trying to do a little bit at a time. And I didn't do just sand. I like to do a mixture of sand and dirt just because it's not just a thin layer. I was covering a couple inches in some spots, so and then seeding over it.
Okay,
Yeah.
So you overseeded after that too?
Yeah, I did a full overseed, and then like heavier in those bare spots. I seeded that too, a little bit heavier than the overseed. So, that's
Cool.
kind of the angle I took at it. How about you, Chris? You just did some stuff.
Yeah, I did. My front yard, and the primary reason is actually kind of humorous. It's just I wanted to fix my wheel ruts. The lawn mowing, it just from over time mowing in similar patterns, it just created like undulations into the yard, and I just want it fixed. It was not enjoyable anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So mine was just because I wanted to, not because I needed to. But you mentioned something about bringing in a lot of the dirt or compost or sand or whatever it was. That's a cool triangle we can kind of get into. But whatever you level your lawn with, I am shocked as to how much you actually need, right? When the dump truck or whatever brings it back, and how much dirt is actually sitting there. It's actually crazy to think about, what you actually have to put in your lawn.
Right.
I've learned a lot on this over the course of the last couple years. We've got 3, I think, mowing styles here. 3 needs, I think, maybe for soil as well. I just did screened dirt or screened soil for mine, and I know that there's a bunch of different things that you can do. Andrew, you just mentioned that you did a mix. Vince, you're in a different ballgame when you said you wanted to real mow, or you're doing real mowing, so you're doing sand. Vince, talk us through why you did sand, and then hand it off to Andrew. Talk us why you did, the mix and maybe some of the benefits associated with both.
Yeah, I did sand mainly because topsoil contains weeds, or weed seeds, I should say, and I don't need to overseed my lawn. I don't need to do anything. I'm not looking to repair big holes or divots and stuff. If I'm going to add like an inch or 2 of big divots or holes, then I'm going to use more of a topsoil, like Andrew and Chris did. But with sand, you're just putting down a small layer to, like I said earlier, to fix the little undulations and stuff. So I did sand. It's sand cap. You can use a USGA regulated sand, a kiln dried sand. It's tough to find. People do find it. It is more expensive. Or you can check with your local like hardscape supplier and find some masonry sand. A lot of people use masonry sand. Just make sure it doesn't have big chunks and stuff of shells and stuff in it. Like I get Jersey sand, and everything from Jersey has some crud in it sometimes. So no offense to you people that are in Jersey, but yeah, thank you for your sand. But there's lots of shells and stuff in it, and that can get caught in your reel. So. Yeah, but that's what I can get. So I used sand just because I'm fixing a small amount of undulations, and recommended rates. I heard somewhere where it's 1 yard per 1,000 square feet, and that's putting it down heavy. I think half yard per 1,000 square feet is probably a good starting point.
It's a lot. It is a lot. That Jersey sand must be like the Wisconsin dirt. Right, Andrew?
He certainly
for
is.
Us, over on our side of the world.
That's right between Chris and I, Wisconsin. But so
Andrew, what'd you do with you mixed a couple things. What'd you do?
I did. So I was doing more of like fixing deeper spots, and Vince is just trying to really smooth it up for his real mowing. And adding sand adds 0 nutrients to your lawn. So if I was just gonna put sand in my lawn, I could still grow some grass in it probably, but it's got 0 nutrients to it. So my topsoil that I got had a little bit of compost in it, so it's going to have some nutrients. It's better for overall health of the lawn in the long run. But the sand helps with filtration, help reduce compaction, standing water, all that kind of stuff. So I think I did like a 50-50 mix, but I was also doing some reading, and a lot of people, I guess, recommend like a 70-30, 70 sand, 30 compost kind of thing, which I thought was interesting. But I have a sandy loam soil to begin with. I found that out just by digging and soil tests and stuff like that. So I was just trying to match what I currently have so that my lawn is, as uniform as it can be. But, getting sand and dirt, it's pricey. It's like $25 a yard, at least where I am. And that's not even like the best topsoil I can probably find either. So
it's pretty cheap.
It is pretty cheap. It's not the most pure stuff, but for what I'm trying to do, I'm not real mowing. I don't care if there's a little bit of stuff in there. I normally use tenacity when I seed and stuff like that, so I'm not too worried about weeds. I'll deal with that later. But
so what tools were you using? So actually, when you were going to do that, did you prep your area? Like, how did you go about before you put down any material? What were you using to prep the area?
I had a lot of bare spots, and I actually ran a Sun Joe dethatcher over all that, and that tore up a lot of those bare spots really well and got that soil exposed. And then also, since I did a full overseed, I did the Sun Joe on all my existing grass, and that got up a lot of that thatch layer and dead grass down there, so the seed could get down into the soil as well. And then after that, to smooth it out, I really need to invest in like a level lawn rake, a leveling rake. Those things run easily $150, $200 for a decent one. Anything over
totally worth it.
Yeah, and that's going to be one of my next investments for sure, because the whole time I'm doing the project, I was kind of kicking myself. I have a nice 36-inch landscaping rake, and so I had that thing flipped over, and I was using the backside of that for a nice flat surface, but it's not going to do as good of a job as a leveling rake for sure, and I really need one.
So why can't I just use a lawn roll, like a roller for the lawn? Right, the drum that you just fill up with water. I've gotten that. I know a lot of people who do that, and they just do it on a tow behind or walk behind it or whatever. But it is there an actual difference between properly leveling your lawn and properly rolling your lawn?
I've never noticed a difference after I ran a roller over my lawn. I mean, you'd have to saturate that lawn, saturate it to roll. I mean, most of them are maybe like 200 pounds, 250 pounds.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you gotta really saturate to make a big difference. I've never noticed a big difference. Now, on brand new topsoil, like Andrew just put down topsoil, yeah, there you can roll it and compact it and smooth it out. But on existing turf, I don't do it. I don't even waste my time anymore with that.
So you would do it when it's an actual project versus just going out with a roller and leveling your lawn, right? Or flattening it out.
So I purchased a roller this season with hopes that like early spring, when it's really soggy out, that maybe I can get some of the freeze and thaw little tiny bumps out of there by rolling it. I don't have compaction in my lawn at all, so I'm not worried about that. But yeah, for a project when you're adding inches of topsoil, like you might think that it's compacted down, but once you roll that lawn with that roller, you'll realize like, oh, I need to actually add more topsoil because it's not level, because it compacts it down.
Sure.
And eventually it's going to settle on its own once you start watering it in and stuff. And then you'll realize, well, my lawn is actually not level and I thought it was. So
I ran into that. I used damn near almost 3.5 yards of the 4.5 that I used on basically trying to bring one area up, and I can already tell that it's not enough. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
It's absolutely nuts. Timing of this whole thing, and like when is the best time to level your lawn? When are the best times to do it? Obviously for seeding, it's, for a cool season lawn, the best time to seed or overseed or do anything like that's in the fall. We know that, but is there a right time to level your lawn? Better times than not. From your guys' experience, what have you guys had?
I don't know, Vince, you seem to do your leveling quite often. Do you find spring's better for you?
I did spring last year and this year. Yeah. So, mainly for that is in the springtime, you're starting to get that rush of growth. So I can cut it down 1/2 inch or lower. I'll put sand over it. I might hit it with a little bit of fertilizer, like my front lawn spoon feeding, and it's already going to start to grow and push through that sand and not choke it out. Now, in the fall, you could do it as well. You could do an aeration, and you could do an aerate. You can overseed and level and all that stuff, but I prefer just do it in the springtime. I don't know if there's any science behind spring or fall. I just like to do it in the spring.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to like what you're doing, you're adding just a little bit of sand, and that grass is going to pop right through there, versus what I'm doing where I'm throwing down heavier soil and sand in sections where no matter what I do is going to choke out that grass and I have to reseed it. And so spring and fall are really the only options. You obviously don't want to do any of this stuff in the summer because you need to have growth in order to have success. But I don't think it matters, in my opinion, a whole lot whether you do it during the fall or spring, whatever is convenient for you, whenever like a renovation style thing is going to work, because I need to throw down seed with how deep I'm doing mine versus Vince is just, smoothing it out.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And I know that it differs obviously with the type of grass that you have and obviously the area that you're at, right? So like a warm season transition, cool season, those obviously might differ, and the material that you might use is different too. So we want to be obviously concise with everything. If you have any questions, we'd love to hear them and answer them for you. So drop them down in the comments. We've also talked about a couple different products that we've got here, or that we find really, really helpful in a project like this. We'll link those down below, so you can explore those options on Amazon and kind of explore those. But for that, we're going to sign off. Go follow us on all of our channels. We've got Instagram, TikTok. Obviously, you're here on YouTube, so do subscribe and hit that like button. Drop any of those comments down below. But until next time, you guys have a good one. Go fix your leveled lawn, or go level your lawn. Go fix all of those bumps.
Go get in your truck down the back road with your cutie beside your side and fix those bumps.
Yeah.
Bumps. Yeah. All right, you guys. Take care.
Later.
See you.
Be good.